A few days ago, millions of tons of overheated gas erupted from the surface of the Sun and blasted towards Earth at 90 million miles per hour. This explosion, known as a coronal mass ejection, wasn't particularly powerful on the space weather scale, but when it hit Earth's magnetic field, it triggered the strongest geomagnetic storm seen in years. This time, there wasn't much disruption. Most people probably didn't even know it happened, but it served as a reminder that the Sun is waking up from its years-long slumber. Though invisible and harmless to everyone on Earth's surface, the geomagnetic waves released by solar storms can disrupt power grids, interfere with radio communications, expose airline crew to dangerous levels of radiation, and knock critical satellites out of alignment. The Sun started a new 11-year cycle last year, and when it peaks in 2025, the specter of powerful space weather causing havoc looms larger, threatening chaos in a world that has become increasingly dependent on technology since the last major storms 17 years ago. A recent study suggested that strengthening the grid could benefit the U.S. energy industry by $27 billion. Caitlin Durkovich, Special Assistant to President Joe Biden and Senior Director for Resilience and Response at the National Security Council, said during a speech, "It's still remarkable to me the number of people and companies who think space weather is a Hollywood invention." She spoke last month at a space weather conference. The danger is not hypothetical. In 2017, as Category 5 Hurricane Irma was ravaging the Caribbean, a solar storm caused ham radios to go static. In 2015, solar storms knocked out GPS systems in the northeastern United States, a particular concern as self-driving cars become a reality. When solar storms hit, airline pilots are at higher risk of developing cataracts. Higher rates of miscarriages have been observed in female crew members. According to Hydro-Quebec's website, a solar storm over Quebec in March 1989 caused a province-wide blackout lasting 9 hours. A 2017 paper published in the Journal of the American Geophysical Union predicted that severe space weather-induced power outages could affect up to 66% of the U.S. population, with economic losses reaching $41.5 billion per day. To prevent such a catastrophe, the administration of President Barack Obama developed a strategy to raise awareness of the dangers posed by major solar storms and assess their risks. Last year, President Donald Trump signed the ProSwift bill, aiming to develop technology to improve forecasting and measurement of space weather events. There is debate among scientists about how much can be done to protect vulnerable parts of the planet's infrastructure from the effects of solar storms. Steps like using non-magnetic steel in transformers and placing more surge protectors on the grid could increase resilience, but ultimately the best defense against disaster might be better forecasting. This would go a long way in helping utilities prepare for disruptions and ensuring they have ways to back up their systems in case of power loss. A new model developed by the University of Michigan is expected to go online within weeks to help improve forecasts for Earth. Mark Prass, Deputy Director of the Department for Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy, said that in the UK, National Grid has increased its supply of spare transformers and conducts regular drills to cope with a major space weather event. In the past 15 years, the US and UK have built space weather forecasting centers that provide daily outlooks on what the Sun might throw at airlines, power grids, satellite owners, and everyone else under threat from solar eruptions. While ground-based observers can see explosive storms erupting on the Sun, they cannot determine the true nature of the threat, exactly how powerful it is, until the burst reaches a series of satellites 1 million miles away from the planet. At this point, there are only 60 to 90 minutes before it hits Earth. Our ability to understand and predict the solar cycle is still very limited, said William Mertic, Director of the U.S. Space Weather Prediction Center. Similar measures could be taken before a solar storm, according to Mark Olson, Director of Reliability Assessments at the North America Electric Reliability Corp., a non-profit responsible for overseeing the reliability of the U.S. power grid. The potential is there to have very large areas with voltage instability, Olson said. Just as situational awareness is key in terrestrial weather events, it is crucial here too. The roots of solar storms lie in the Sun's 11-year cycle, which causes its magnetic field to flip poles. Magnetic forces at play on the Sun get tangled during the process and puncture the surface, sending the sun's plasma into outer space with the potential to trigger storms on the ERTH.